Hello everyone, it's Adam Sheard from the Language Arts Institute here. How are you all doing today? Today, we're going to start up a new video series. I'm going to try something different. A lot of my students, they have a lot of vocabulary and they know a lot of grammar, but the problem is when you watch movies or TV shows, it's really difficult to know some of the different words they use. English has influences from so many languages, from European languages, Asian languages. There are many words in movies and TV shows, even in the news, that many native speakers don't understand. And how do we understand? It's the same way that you understand things in your language, by knowing the context. So what the context is when we know a situation, and we look at the situation and we guess what some vocabulary means. So today, we're going to do a little kind of game that I like to call Context Detective. And detective is someone who solves a mystery. And what we're going to do is watch part of a movie. Today, we're looking at the movie The Interview. And we're going to look at a scene, and you're going to see a word. And then we're going to try to guess what the situation is and what the word means. So let's start with this first scene here. Now you see the two main characters driving up to the restaurant. Now here they go, they're coming out.
Jump to it. It's been a dry June, and I know it doesn't need to be said out loud, but we need this sale.
I am so confident that we're going to close this thing that I'm going to order the Pappy Van Winkle. I know it's pricey, but I want to spiritually invest in our success.
So you see the two characters here. They are talking about doing a sale. They're both salesmen. They're walking into a restaurant and they say that they're going to order the Pappy Van Winkle. Now, let's watch this again and listen for this word, Pappy Van Winkle. I want you to listen very carefully.
It's been a dry June, and I know it doesn't need to be said out loud, but we need this sale.
I am so confident that we're going to close this thing that I'm going to order the Pappy Van Winkle.
Okay, so let's look at the details again. We know that they're at a restaurant, that they're making a sale, and that they're going to meet someone to make that sale. And they mentioned getting the Pappy Van Winkle. Okay, so he feels confident, so he's going to get the Pappy Van Winkle. So here is the question. So, Pappy Van Winkle is A, a person, B, a kind of food, C, a kind of alcohol, or D, a product they are selling. Okay, so if you want, you can pause the video, think about it, maybe go back and watch this clip again, and find out what is the Pappy Van Winkle. Did you get it? The Pappy Van Winkle is C, a kind of alcohol. It's actually a very expensive alcohol, and that's why they mention that it is very pricey here. Okay, so now we're at this next scene. We're at a cafe inside of the Google headquarters. So first off, looking at the cafe, we know, of course, at a cafe, there are drinks, there's food, there are lots of things like that. So let's listen to this next part and find out what is going on here.
Morning.
Hi.
What's the damage here?
Nothing.
For these?
Free.
These are complimentary.
Complimentary.
Okay, so just a second ago, he walked up, he said good morning, and then he asked, what's the damage here? What's the damage here? That's a very interesting expression. Let's watch this again.
Morning.
Hi.
What's the damage here?
Nothing.
For these?
Free.
These are complimentary.
Complimentary.
So, what does he mean by damage? Well, look in both his hands. He has a coffee, or he has a couple of coffees. He's in a cafe, there's a lot of food there. What could this damage possibly mean? What's the damage? And then the sales attendant there said, well, it's complimentary, it's free. So here's question number 2. Here, the damage means A, a kind of drink, B, the cost of the food, C, the cafe employee's name, or D, the name of the cafe? All right, take a moment, think about it. The answer is B, the cost of the food. In English, sometimes we say, what's the damage? What's the cost? Because usually something expensive might damage your wallet.
Listen, I want you two to come work for me.
Sammy, my boy, I thought you retired.
I did, Nicky, I did.
So in this first part, this gentleman calls them and says, I want you two to come work for me.
And 2 words, motorized scooters. Head down to Modesto, start checking out the old age homes.
Ah, Sammy, we already have the gig
We
here.
got a new gig.
So he tells them to head down to a place and check out this old age home, something about motorized scooters. And they said, no, we already have a gig.
We're interns at Google.
Interns at Google? Who are you kidding? You're salesmen. This is a sales gig. It's a job.
Sammy, we've had lots of jobs. We're trying to build a future here.
So you say that they have a sales gig. You're salesmen. This is a sales gig. Now, let's watch this again. And I want you to try to find out, what does the word gig mean? What's a gig?
Ah, Sammy, we already have the gig
We
here.
got a new gig.
We're interns at Google.
Interns at Google? Who are you kidding? You're salesmen. This is a sales gig. It's a job.
Okay, let's find out if you were able to detect what gig means. So, for our third question, a gig is A, a motorized scooter, B, a watch, C, a Google bicycle, or D, a job. Did you get it? The answer is D, a job. Actually, the word gig, you often hear it when people talk about bands or music, people getting together to play. However, gig can also mean like an opportunity or a job in this case. Okay, so in this next scene, we have all of the members of this Google team in the office. Clearly, they're not feeling very well because a moment ago they lost a big match and they're currently in a competition with many other teams. So of course they want to win, but in this case they didn't win again. So let's listen to what happened.
It's great. It's another win for Team Graham. There's only one challenge left. Even if we're perfect, it won't be enough.
We had him too.
We did, but it's just a little hiccup, a little adversity.
Look, Billy's a great guy and everything, but he kind of blew it for us today.
So here they're talking about a hiccup. Apparently one of the characters, he blew it. He failed something for the group, but there was a hiccup. Now I want you to watch this again and pay very close attention to the word hiccup. What do you think it means?
Great. It's another win for Team Graham. There's only one challenge left. Even if we're perfect, it won't be enough.
We had him too.
We did, but it's just a little hiccup, a little adversity.
Look, Billy's a great guy and everything, but he kind of blew it for us.
Okay, did you get it? Here's our fourth question. To have a hiccup is to have A, problem, B, benefit, C, break, or D, argument. Did you get it? The answer is A, a problem. So to have a hiccup, well, hiccup originally is something that happens, I'm not sure why it happens, but sometimes you go, that's a hiccup. Sometimes when you drink some bubbly soda or pop or beverage, you get hiccups. But a hiccup here means like a problem. So if you have a plan and there's a hiccup, it means there's a small problem with the plan.
Here's your answer.
Sal, come on. All I'm saying is, why should Papa John's make all the dough when Papa Sal's got the better sauce?
Okay, so we have the two guys and their group at this pizzeria with the pizza owner, and clearly they're trying to sell a product. Actually, they're trying to make him switch to using Google for his marketing. So let's take a look at what's happening in this situation.
You know what? Now you're starting to sound like him. He wants to open up a Sal's in Los Gatos.
The bigger chains are killing us. We're barely staying afloat.
So basically the younger member of this chef's team wants to promote and expand to some bigger, more larger franchise positions. So they want to open up franchises, or he wants to open up franchises so that the company can stay alive.
When you franchise, you lose quality. You lose the taste that people trust. You want to know why my sauce is better?
So the older gentleman, the main head chef, he's saying that if you make a franchise, you lose the quality of the product, in this case, the pizza. So why is his pizza better? He's going to explain.
I'll tell you why. Because I go down to farmer's market every day. I buy them tomatoes myself. I walk down the street. I get the basil, the oregano. Look, guys.
So there's some keywords here. He's saying he goes to the farmer's market, he buys tomatoes, he goes down the street. So clearly he's a very local kind of guy.
I know these people. I'm part of the fabric of this neighborhood. That's good enough for me.
So here is the word. He says, I'm part of the fabric of this neighborhood. It's an interesting expression. Now, let's look back again at some of these clips and let's see if we can find out, what does that mean? He's part of the fabric of the neighborhood.
When you franchise, you lose quality. You lose the taste that people trust. I'll tell you why. Because I go down to farmer's market every day. I buy them tomatoes myself. I walk down the street. I get the basil, the oregano. Look, guys, I know these people. I'm part of the fabric of this neighborhood.
Did you get it? Okay, so here's our fifth and final question for today. To be part of the fabric of the neighborhood is to A, volunteer often in the neighborhood, B, to buy fabric at the local store, C, to be an important part of the neighborhood, and D, to think globally. Did you get it? The answer is C, to be an important part of the neighborhood. Sometimes we compare a neighborhood to a piece of fabric, right? So like maybe like a sheet or a quilt or a blanket. You know, this store is this part, this person is this part, and all these different parts make up one blanket, one fabric, right? So he's saying that he is an important part of the neighborhood. As he said, he goes to the local stores, buys the tomatoes, goes down to the farmer's market, buys the basil, things like that. All right. I hope you all had fun and you were able to exercise your contextual detective skills. And in the future, we'll try this a bit more so you can watch and you can try to learn how to find meaning when you don't know the meaning of some vocabulary. Now, this is very effective, and this is one of the top skills that you need to know to succeed at your TOEFL or IELTS tests. Even for most languages in general, you need to be able to find the context by looking at the situation, the people, what's being said, and putting what you know to find what you don't know. And even if you know a word, you should always try to find out some other meanings, because a lot of times some words have very different meanings, and the meaning that you know might not be the meaning that they're actually trying to say. So, please check out some of our other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video so I can make more. And as always, I'm Adam Sheard from the Language Arts Institute. Learn smarter, not harder. Bye-bye.